So I'm here doing a commentary. This time I'm going to be kind of focusing on the competitive side of Uncharted, specifically Uncharted 2. I'll do something for Uncharted 3 down the road, but as you can see here, this isn't my own gameplay. This is something sent to me at Sleep Bunny a while ago. This is a 5v5. This is not public matching. This is two people. This is not a game battle either. This is just two teams who kind of just wanted to play a match and see who would win. I'm going to be focused on kind of what happened with Uncharted 2 competitive over a while and kind of how it changed. And right off the bat, as you can see here, Beastly is using situational, which might come as a surprise to some and not to others. But, I mean, situational kind of really wasn't, like, banned, per se, competitively. Especially, I don't think on game battles, like, there wasn't a rule saying anything. And this isn't a game battle, as I said, but no one really, like, was like, alright, no situational. Because Beastly's using it, I'm pretty sure two people on the opposite team are using it. So it was kind of allowed. That might come as a surprise to some. And for those who don't know, Uncharted 2, it did have quite a good healthy life cycle in terms of game battles. Like, it had quite a few seasons in terms of GB and Uncharted 2. And as I've said before, Uncharted 2 killed kind of Uncharted 2 competitive side, because a lot of people kind of didn't really like the change of Uncharted 2 after 1.05. And one thing that cannot be disputed outside of everything else, if those who didn't play pre 1.05, some of you might have come on later, what it did do 1.05 without a question is it killed Uncharted 2 competitively. Like, the ladder kind of just dried out. A lot of people who were very good, who took Uncharted 2 competitively, they kind of just stopped playing after 1.05. That cannot be disputed. That's pretty much a fact. Uncharted 1.05 did kill Uncharted 2 competitively. But as you can see here, this is not a game battle. This is just a 5v5 between two teams, and this is TDM. They're allowing situational. They're going to be using power weapons. What I don't really understand is, kind of after game battles died, there was people who still took Uncharted 2 pretty seriously, who thought they were good or whatever, and they tried hard. I don't really like using the word try hard, because I like to think everyone kind of who plays a sport, a game, they usually put their best foot forward. Yeah, you run into some people who are silly, who are just going to kill themselves the whole time, but most of the time people put their best foot forward, and some people are better than others. That's kind of a given. But what I kind of don't understand is, after game battles, people kind of just always played TDM, and a lot of times when the people who really took it seriously, like, they always would want to just play TDM. And on the topic of TDM, I mean, it's a pretty simple mode. Like, it's not like an objective, because, I mean, on game battles, on any other game usually, even in Uncharted 2, people were playing objectives. People were playing Plunder, Turf War, King of the Hill, what have you. And after kind of game battles died, everyone just kind of focused on just playing the Uncharted 2 like TDM playlist. Because I mean, TDM is a simple mode. Like, there's no objective for you to go towards. You don't really need a team effort to pull something off. You just kill the other team more than they kill you. It's a pretty simple premise, and anyone kind of hop in and play. It's a quick in and out game mode. But what I don't really understand is why these people who took Uncharted 2 seriously after game battles, they kind of kept playing TDM all the time. And that's how they would take it seriously competitively too after game battles. Like, they would just play the little 5v5 customs, team deathmatch. They would never be like, oh hey, let's play like an objective mode, or let's do something else. And this I find rather strange, because I mean, if you go to any other game, and if it's played competitively, for example, Call of Duty, for those who saw like the Dallas championships, the $1 million tournament, they don't play TDM. It's not like they play one mode either. Like, it's not like everyone plays Search and Destroy or Capture the Flag over and over again. They play a variety of different objective modes to see which team comes out on top. Because I agree, and that's how I feel anyway, that in order to see who's the best team, you kind of have to test your skills in like different modes and see who comes out on top. Because I don't really understand what you really prove by winning one mode over and over again. What, you're dominant at one mode? That's not really something like to boast about, but surprisingly quite a few people felt that this was something to boast about, and this is kind of what happened in Uncharted 2. People were just like, hey, we're the best at TDM, Team Deathmatch, and if you want to like challenge that, you play us 5v5 Team Deathmatch, best out of 3 or whatever. That's kind of like a little basic format that kind of was formed after game battles kind of fell off the map in Uncharted 2. What I don't really understand is, why did anyone not speak out about this? Were people just okay with it? Did people just like stop thinking about objectives? They didn't really care? Because I understand TDM was the most popular mode in Uncharted, but that doesn't mean, in terms of competitive aspect of gaming, if you look around at any other competitive game, this isn't normal. You don't just play one mode over and over again. When you play any game competitively at a certain level, you don't just play one mode over and over again. That's not usually how it works in any game. And that's what it boiled down to after game battles died in Uncharted 2. I found it to be pretty odd, and honestly a lot of clans kind of popped up after game battles and such, and they would follow suit with this little format of just they just play TDM, best out of 3 or whatever best out of, and all they would play is TDM, and no one really spoke up and said, this is ridiculous. Why are we just playing TDM over and over again? Let's play an objective. Let's play Plunder, which is basically kind of like a ghetto version of Catch the Flag. Let's play King of the Hill. Let's see who's the best team overall. But I almost feel like a lot of teams felt like just being the best at TDM was how you proved you were the best team overall, and that obsession kind of like grew with people after a while. I mean, people started doing it, then other people kind of started following suit, making their own little clans or what have you. I don't really like calling it clans because it sounds kind of childish. I prefer to call them teams, but people called it clans, and then they came up with this thing called a clan battle for it, which this is not written in stone, but a lot of people believe this to be like the way you determine who's the best, especially in Uncharted. Anyway, it'd be like, oh, if you want to prove your clan's the best, you gotta like play us 5v5 team deathmatch like over and over again. They would never dare to play any other mode. It wasn't even thought of. And I don't really get why no one like said, hey, let's play a different mode against this team. I don't really understand, like, how does beating another team over and over again in one mode prove you're the best? Outside of you were better than them in that one mode. It's not like Uncharted 2 the only mode is team deathmatch. It's not in Uncharted 3 either. But I don't really understand why people just felt like proving themselves in one mode over and over again in Uncharted 2 after game battles kind of fell off. And that's basically what did happen. I mean, tournaments were formed, like, there was still, like, I guess a sense of competitiveness, but I felt like they were going about it completely wrong, or they had it all wrong. And I don't really understand why no one ever spoke up about this. No one's like, hey, let's not just do TDM, let's play other modes against these other teams. That's how you, in my opinion, that's how you see kind of who's the best team overall. But nobody felt the same about this, or everyone was perfectly content just playing team deathmatch over and over again, maybe because that's the only mode they kind of played on a daily basis. But I just found it a bit ridiculous that people really put TDM on such a pedestal in Uncharted 2 as like, this is how you determine who's the best. I mean, there's also a debate about like Uncharted 2 took more skill, there was strafing and aiming and whatnot, but on that topic, I mean, these skills, like, I'm not diminishing their importance, because you have to have good aim, you have to like have these little like mechanics down if you're going to play competitive in any game. The mechanics might be different from game to game, but I mean, good aim in a shooter is good aim, and that's always important. But these skills kind of go on the back burner when you go into playing a competitive game at a certain level, like being the best at gunfights or whatever. This kind of isn't important on the competitive gaming aspect side, because what really wins a match in competitive gaming is how well the team works, like their strategies, their communication, and the chemistry. Some people just really work well together, and they know the ins and outs of each other, and they know their weaknesses, they know their strengths, and this is important. When you play a game competitively, you're not going to win a competitive match every day, like all the time, just by having better aim than the other team, unless they're really bad. Because usually when you play on a competitive level, every team has lethal aim. Every team knows how to strafe or whatever mechanics in the game you're playing competitively. These things you have to all, like, you're going to encounter people like this. They're going to be more or less at the same level than you. But the way you're going to pull out the win is by having better communication, a better strategy, teamwork. This is what differentiates teams from other teams. Not like, oh, this team has the best aim or something. I mean, yeah, there'll be certain players, they'll be like the top Slayer or something like that, but what really matters is the teamwork. And I feel like in Uncharted 2, like, some people were kind of blinded by this obsession of, oh, I'm the best at gunfights, and TDM, all about killing and gunfights. I didn't really understand what kind of happened, who kind of started this trend, but I feel like that kind of was valued above like teamwork, communication, chemistry, these sort of things. And it especially lost transition in terms of like no like valued having like skills in any other mode outside of TDM, like, because that's all people played. And I mean, I'm not going to diminish the value of what kind of happened in Uncharted 2 after game battles, but I didn't really see how people could take it seriously, and how people were just playing TDM over and over again. And yeah, there was these little tournaments that kind of happened with, and they would always just be TDM, just be like 5v5 TDM. People would debate, should we have power up and shouldn't, and some people like kind of made up their own rules about how they would like play under people, like, oh, we only play 5v5 TDM, no power weapons. They were usually the same. Honestly, like, there'll be minor differences, but what I don't really understand is why these people put these rules on a pedestal. Like, these are the rules, and this is how you play. Like, I don't really understand. Like, did you write these down on a little napkin? Do you have them on your little little website or a Google Doc or something? Like, I don't really understand why everyone thought these were like the rules everyone has to abide by, and why nobody challenged it and spoke up and said, hey, let's do something different. Let's play other modes. No, TDM 5v5 power weapons. No, like these people, like these are kind of like the clan rules, I guess, but I don't really understand why these are definitive rules. Some people really feel like these are written in stone. This is how you settle. This is how you get a win. If you don't beat us in this, it's not a win or whatever. It was just a bit ridiculous how people value these things. And what I'm not sure if they understand is these weren't like written in stone. And like, I'm not saying it has to be on a website either, but it's almost like they made up these rules and they really just wanted to play how they wanted to play. Like, you have to play them by their rules. And I just thought it was a bit ridiculous. And no one really spoke up about it. People were okay playing these same old rules over and over again. And I found it a bit kind of sad and ridiculous. And it felt like Uncharted 2 after game battles kind of died, kind of lost the essence of competitive gaming and kind of just focused into like this ego fest between like these groups of people who were just like, we're the best and like we're the best, and all they would do is just play one mode over and over again. They really just felt like they were the best, and it was fueled by people making up these little tournaments and such, and it would always just be TDM. And people were just content with this. No one ever said this isn't how competitive gaming is done. Let's look at the other examples of other games being competitive and how that's working. I don't know. Maybe people thought this was the niche for Uncharted, but that's about it for this video. And I'm curious to hear some of your feedback. I mean, I know not everyone's competitive and stuff, but this video is focused on kind of the competitive aspect of Uncharted. I'd like to hear your feedback at the comment section below, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.